Is Sharjah only cheap because the demand is weak? Price and demand do not always move together. It is just a different kind of demand than what you see in Dubai. They told me they had a choice. The data shows two different markets living side by side. We should be honest about the reality. Welcome back. After our last video, someone asked a very good question in the comments. They said, is Sharjah only cheap because the demand is weak? If people really wanted to live there, wouldn't the prices be higher? It is a smart way to look at it. Most people think a low price means nobody wants the item. But in the property market, price and demand do not always move together. If you look at the start of 2026, there is actually a lot of activity in Sharjah. Billions of dirhams are moving through the market. The demand is definitely there. It is just a different kind of demand than what you see in Dubai. Today, I want to show you why that is. When I walk through the neighborhoods here, I do not see empty buildings. I see families everywhere. The parks are busy. The shops are full. It does not look like a place where demand is weak. I think the price comes down to who is buying. In some cities, the market is driven by investors. These are people who buy and sell fast to make a profit. That kind of competition pushes prices up very quickly. But Sharjah is mostly a market for families. We call them end users. These are people buying a home to live in for the long term. They are very careful with their money. They want something that will last. They often think about handing the home down to their children one day. They are not bidding against each other, just to push prices up. This is why the market feels more relaxed and the prices stay steady. There is another reason the prices look low. It is what I call the old building factor. Sharjah has many older buildings in the city center. These flats are simple. They do not have fancy pools or smart technology. In some of these buildings, the elevator is so busy that you end up taking the stairs just to save time. Because there are so many of these older apartments, they pull the average price of the whole city down. But if you go to the newer areas, like the forest communities or modern master plans, the prices are much higher. Calling the whole city cheap is a bit of a myth. It really depends on the type of building you are looking at. The data shows two different markets living side by side. I also think it comes down to a choice about space. I know many families who moved from Dubai to Sharjah. They told me they had a choice. They could have a small apartment in a flashy tower or a big house in Sharjah for the same price. Most chose the bigger house. Having a room for the kids to play in is often better than a view of a skyscraper. This choice actually helps the city. Once a family has that extra space, they tend to stay. They become long-term neighbors. This makes the market very stable. It might not create big price jumps, but it is much safer for the city over the long run. It is also a very human way to think about a budget. So, the demand in Sharjah is strong. It is just driven by families rather than investors. But we should be honest about the reality. Some older buildings need a lot of work to stay livable. And then, there is the big question about the commute. Many people say, living far from Dubai hurts your rental demand. If you are not near the border, your property is worthless. That is another big myth we hear all the time. In our next video, we will look closer at that question. Does distance to Dubai really kill demand? Or is there a reason people actually want to be further away? I have been looking at some data that might surprise you. It might even make you feel better the next time you are sitting in traffic. We will talk about the commute and the types of tenants in the next one. Thanks for joining me in today. Keep sending your questions in the comment section, and I will see you next time.